Dear student, you are watching Literature World, and on this channel you can get videos of drama, novel, poetry. In this part of video, we are going to discuss a great uh, Elizabethan drama of Shakespeare. Macbeth is the milestone, a masterpiece of Shakespeare. This is the story of a tragic king, Macbeth. Macbeth was very ambitious, and due to his ambition he kills his own loyal king Duncan, and become the king himself. But his ambition brings his own fall at the end of the drama. Before starting the video, if you are new at this channel, to subscribe the channel so that you can get the latest videos. Let us discuss the main character of the drama. First of all, Macbeth. Macbeth is the tragic hero, was very ambitious, and due to his ambition he kills Duncan, his own loyal king, and become the king of Scotland. Second, Lady Macbeth. Lady Macbeth is the wife of Macbeth. She was also very ambitious, and she want to be the queen of Scotland. Due to she encouraged her husband Macbeth, and Macbeth kills Duncan. Next character, Duncan. Duncan is a very good and loving king. He has two sons, Malcolm and Donalbain. Next character is Banquo. Banquo is also a very faithful and loyal general of Duncan. Macbeth also murdered Banquo because you will know in the latest part of the story that witches had given a prophecy that the son of Banquo would be the king of Scotland. So Macbeth did not want that after him the son of Banquo would be the king of Scotland. So Macbeth murdered Banquo also. Next character is Malcolm. Malcolm is the eldest son of Duncan, and when after the murder of Duncan he ran away to England to save his life, but at the later end of the story he defeat Macbeth and kills him, and once again he become the king of Scotland. These are some important characters. Let us begin the play. The play starts with a battle. A war is going on between Norwegian army and Scottish army. Duncan is leading the Scottish army, but the problem is that some of the some of the soldier of Scottish armies are helping the Norwegian army. But the good thing is that Scottish army has won the battle, because in Scottish army there was a general like Banquo and Macbeth. After the battle, Banquo and Macbeth is coming from the battlefield. In the way, three witches interrupted him, and one of the witches says to Macbeth, "Hail Macbeth, you would be the Thane of Cawdor." And he witches gives a prophecy about the future of Macbeth and says that you would be the Thane of Cawdor, and in future the witches give the next prophecy about Macbeth, that you would be the king of Scotland. The witches also gives a prophecy about the future of Banquo and says that you would not be the king of Scotland, but your son would be the king of Scotland. After giving these prophecies, they vanish from there, and Banquo and Macbeth is coming to the king, but they did not heed the prophecy, they did not care the prophecy. But when they are coming to meet Duncan, one of the men of Duncan comes to Macbeth, and he informed Macbeth that previous Thane of Cawdor has deceived. He has helped the Norwegian army, so Duncan has punished him. He has hanged, and now the information is that Duncan has made you the Thane of Cawdor. So it was a surprising thing. Macbeth is thinking that the witches had given a prophecy that I would be the king, I would be the Thane of Cawdor, and I have become the Thane of Cawdor. It means one of the prophecy of the witches has come true. It may be the second prophecy also would come true. So this is the situation. First time, the germs of ambition creates, develops into the mind of Macbeth. And he is thinking that if one of the prophecy has come true, so it may be the second prophecy also will come true. When Macbeth and Banquo meet the king embraced Banquo for his sincerity. He declared that he has appointed his eldest son Malcolm as the Prince of Cumberland. He declared that he would go to greet Macbeth's wife at her residence. Macbeth burns him deep desire to be the king of Scotland. He informed all the events, all the incident to his wife. She also plans for Duncan's murder and wants Macbeth's presence to fill him with cruelty, because Lady Macbeth also knows that without the murder of Duncan, Macbeth cannot be the king of Scotland, because after Duncan, Malcolm would be the king of Scotland. The King Duncan goes to Macbeth's castle. According to the advice of Lady Macbeth, the two guards of Duncan are drenched with wine mixed with poison. When they struggle with life and death, Lady Macbeth approaches Duncan's chamber to kill him. But she finds the resemblance of her father. In uh, on the face of Duncan, he sees the face of his father. It looks like the face of Duncan looks like the face of Lady Macbeth's father. So she was not able to murder the king. She returns from the chamber. She returns without committing the deed. Macbeth kills Duncan. After that, Macbeth went to the chamber and he kills Duncan. But he is nervous to see the bleeding body of Duncan. Lady Macbeth sprinkles the blood of Duncan over the guard and drench their daggers into Duncan's blood. Macduff and Lennox appear to awake the king. In the early morning, as Duncan has suggested them, the Macduff and Lennox came to awake the king. They declared Duncan murder. When they went to awake the king in their chamber, they found that Duncan has been murdered. So they declared that Duncan has been murdered. Macbeth kills the two guards, supposing them to be the murderer of the king. As Macbeth comes, first of all he kills the two guards of Duncan so that they can't tell anything else. Malcolm, Macduff and Lennox appear to awake the king. They declare Duncan's murder. Macbeth kills the two guards, supposing them to be the murder of king. Malcolm and Donalbain leave the country for fear, because they know that the murderer can also murder him. So they left the country. Malcolm went to England and Donalbain went to Ireland in fear. They are supposed to be guilty of patricide. It was the fear of Malcolm and Donalbain. Macbeth crowned as king because there was no option. Malcolm has run away to England, Donalbain has run away to Ireland. His wife, Lady Macbeth, is now the queen. None of the two is satisfied on the success. Both have become the king and queen, but they are not satisfied. Why? They are anxious for the future of their husband, of their children. As the witches has given a prophecy that the son of Banquo would be the king of Scotland. So Macbeth and Lady Macbeth is anxious for the future of their children. Macbeth arranged for the murder of Banquo and his son flees. His wife appreciate the plan. Macbeth arranged a royal banquet, a royal feast. Banquo flees, go outside. Banquo promised to return by the evening and attend the royal feast. When he is returning from the travel, he is stabbed by the murderer appointed by Macbeth. Flees escapes away. In the banquet hall, Macbeth grudges the absence of Banquo again and again. The ghost of Banquo appears to mark his presence. Macbeth is already sad to know that Macbeth Fleens could not be killed. He is nervous and terrified to see the ghost of Banquo, because in banquet hall he saw two times the ghost of Banquo, and the whole feast is disturbed. And first time the noble of Scotland came to know that the murder of Banquo is murdered by the appointed murderer of Macbeth, and Duncan is also murdered by Banquo. First time the noble came to know that in this feast. Lady Macbeth tries to pacify him, but all is in vain. The ghost appear once again. It is visible only to Macbeth. No one can see the ghost of Banquo, only Macbeth. The banquet is disturbed. The lords go away. There is a loud whisper that Macbeth has got Banquo killed. After his recovery from the fear of Banquo's ghost, Macbeth consulted the witches about his future. Yani once again Macbeth went to the witches and he wanted to know his future. The witches, who are bent upon to bring the ruin of Macbeth through the apparition of an armed head, caution him to beware of Macbeth. Another apparition of a bloody child advise him to be bold and bloody, for none born of a woman can kill him. Yani the witches gives his prophecy once again that no woman born can kill Macbeth. The third apparition of crowned child assure him of his safety. On hearing the advice of the witches, Macbeth is doubly sure of his safety. Macbeth decides to kill Macduff, but Macduff has left for England to contact the son of Duncan, who is Malcolm. He shall advise him to take revenge with Macbeth. Meanwhile, Macbeth sends murderer to kill Macduff's wife and his child. Lady Macbeth does not understand why Macduff left his kingdom without any knowledge to his wife. An informer comes to inform Lady Macduff about the intention of Macbeth. Lady Macbeth and her children are killed by the murderer sent by Macbeth. Macduff persuades Malcolm to attack Macbeth. He agrees. Malcolm agrees to attack Macbeth. King of Scotland, Seward, his son, and many soldiers help Malcolm and Macduff. They proceed toward the castle of Macbeth. Macduff receives news that his wife and children are killed. Lady Macbeth suffers from somnambulism, and this is a kind of disease. Anyways, she walks while sleeping. In drama, it is called sleepwalking scene. She cannot sleep. She leaves her bed. She walks into sleep. She goes to almirah. She open it, bring out paper, fold it, write something on it, over it, and repeat all the crimes committed by her and her husband. The doctor attending on her hear all. he loses sympathy for Lady Macbeth. She meets death. Macbeth is shocked at her death. He is surrounded by the forces of Malcolm. All his thanes fly and leave him. Macbeth's forces, the English forces, he is killed by Macduff, who is born of woman, not in the natural course but ripped untimely from his mother's womb. There is end of tyranny in Scotland after the tyrant's death, and after that Malcolm's become the king of Scotland, and once again there was happiness, there was
the rule of
greenery
Duncan once
in
again.
Scotland. So it was the story of Macbeth who come to an end, his life come to an end due to his own cruelty, due to his own weakness, due to his own ambition. That's all.